Hello everyone, this is William again. This morning we finished the timeline. In the previous recording we finished the timeline page, so with the stories. And so essentially what I did since the last recording, I did some cleanup and I did some dummy data that matches the one from the UI kit if you look here. And yeah, I also worked on a small improvement, so to have this nice iOS bouncing effect. Oh, there is a small bug here, but here the timeline should appear, but I think that's easily fixable. And yeah, I think it looks pretty good like this. Oops. And I think I'll publish recipe on how to have such a iOS like header in React Native. I definitely need to fix that bug first. Small regression, yeah. So now that we have the list of stories, I thought that the next screen that would be interesting to implement is the one that actually displays the story. So it's a pretty simple screen. I mean, not really actually. It looks like a simple screen. You have the picture, close button, write a message, name, and then you see the comments are, because so are using an interesting shape because they are stacked on top of each other. So the way I implemented it here is that I'm using a white border, but here it cannot work because you have the picture below. So hopefully should be doable with SVG. Let's see. I think it should be possible to do, but maybe we run into trouble. I don't know. And if we manage to do that, I guess the next one is the action sheet with the list of comments. Yeah. All right, so let's get started. So I need to add a new screen to my navigator. I have social in index. No, that's not the right index.js. So in index.js, I have my my navigator definition. So for timeline, I'm gonna set now a stack navigator with timeline as the first screen, and the second screen is gonna be the story screen. So timeline navigator. So it's a stack navigator from React Navigation. So we have the timeline screen, which is using the timeline component. And so now we have our new screen, which is a screen story. And so I need here to import stack navigator from React Navigation. So I have this new screen called story, but also I need to use the default stack navigation options, which are defined in the navigation.js stack navigator options. Perfect. I can import it here and include it here. So now I create my story screen. Yes, here. So it's a screen props, or actually screen params, because what the screen will receive as a parameter is the ID of the story, right? So I can set a ID parameter, and just making some includes, and the screen param types is defined again in the navigation file from components navigation. I have some syntax error here. All right. So I can create some view. I need the view to take up the full screen. Okay. And so now what we need to do, if we go back to the timeline, so there's a stories component, so stories, and then okay, so it's a list of the story component. So what we need to do here is to make it touchable, and then when you press on the story, we navigate to the actual story. So I'm going to use touchable opacity. Okay. And so on press, I need to import autobind. And so we're gonna need the navigation property and the story ID. So here I need to add ID as a parameter and also add the navigation properties. And I have a type called navigation props, which again is defined in the navigation file. So import type navigation props. Okay. Okay, so we have navigation from the props and ID. So I can just do navigation, navigate to story, and I give the ID as parameter. So now the stories parameter also needs to receive navigation props, and I need to pass so the ID, which is story.id, and the navigation. Okay. All right. Okay. And navigation is found from the props. So I need to pass it as parameter here. Okay. So let's see. Looks good. Cool. So maybe let me save this quickly. All right. Okay, so now let's implement the actual screen. So we have the container that takes up the whole space. So we flex one. We're gonna set the image. First, we need to fetch the story actually. So story equals. So we have the. We're gonna need the navigation object as well, and ID from the props, and we're gonna use the social API story method to get the actual story. So now I need to import social API. From, I think, API, I guess. And we need to implement the story method. So if I go social API, I can add a new method, which is story. You give it an ID, it returns the story. And okay, so same here. So stories. Where story. Okay. So it seems to be complaining. Property story is incompatible. Here. Okay. Okay, so now we have the story. So the first thing, so I mean, here we can just look at the way it's laid out. So we have the image in the background, some content overlay. So with 2 rows, one at the top, one at the bottom. Okay, let's do that first, and then we can dive into the top content. So let's use image. So we have an image, and we have the content. And one top bar and one bottom bar. So, okay. So we are gonna use story.picture, and I'm thinking, do I need to set a height, or maybe should I use absolute positioning to let me check. Okay, so I probably will use some absolute positioning. Let's see if it works, I'm not sure. So image, content. Okay, let's try that. And well, yeah, we need to import image from components. Okay. So let's create the proper styles. So here I'm gonna use set it in absolute position, so it can take up the whole view component. I think, let's see if it works, I'm not sure actually. Maybe I have to set up the height, get the dimension from the device and use it as a height. Let's see. So absolute fill object. And same for content, which is overlay to the, which overlays the image. This is probably not working. Let's have a look. Why is it complaining here? ID not found. Oh, so navigation is from the props and ID is from navigation state dot params. Perfect. All right, that seems to work, except for the tab that still shows. So maybe it means I need to set the story component, story screen at the same level than the tabs, I guess, to have a full screen experience. But let's finish it first. Okay, so we have the picture. Now let's do the content. So in content, we do justify content space between. So it will go, the first view will go to the top, the second one will go to the bottom. So space between. So we can create style top. Top and bottom. Okay. The bottom part is really easy to do. We do flex direction. So if you remember, we just have this button on the right hand side. So we do flex direction row and justify content end, and we probably need to add some padding, right? So flex end and yeah, add some padding. So style guide, spacing small. So we should use that as well for top, except there is no justify content flex end, and we need to use a safe area, no, safe view area here on both. You see, because it's using the safe space on the iPhone 10 layout. Safe area view. Okay. Oh, style guide object, not style sheet. And I can also import it from components. Okay. So let's add an icon button here. So let's see if it works with so I'm using the button component, color white. So if I look at I'm using the feather library icon if I can. That's the one I really like. So if I find the icon in this library, that's the one I like to use. So let's see if I can find it. Maybe I'm faster looking for the list. So let's see. see. So maybe we have to use something similar. Let's see. Maybe it's here somewhere. I'm just not seeing it. Message. Right, no, mail. Compose, maybe. No. Share. I don't know. Okay, maybe let's use this one for now. Okay. I'm missing on press, so this we will implement later. Okay. Okay, so the icon name seems to be doesn't seem to be correct. Yeah, but it's so is it probably maybe this icon is maybe probably existing in a newer version of the library that is shipped with Expo, so we have to find another one. Yeah, I'll just use this one for now, message.circle. To be changed later. Okay, that looks good. So color was not, oh, it's text color actually, I think. Yes. All right, so let's actually add the close button. I think it's called X. And so actually, so you see here we're gonna write, so we're gonna do two views for the top one, which is contains the X button and the handle, and the second one will use comments, and we will do a justify content space in between. So let's do that right now actually. So here we have two views. Space between, and here we do a padding horizontal. Since we're using a safe area view, we don't need no, actually we don't need any padding at all. Let's see. Up, because the button does have actually some padding. Okay, so we have the plus and the compose. Let's implement the clause. So this we just go back on clause. Again, I need auto bind. Navigation. Go back. Okay. I need to set. So I already have a component called comments, which I use in the timeline screen to display the comments. So I'm gonna use this one. Should be available here. I think maybe I need to export it. Yes. So export default as comments from comments. So what parameter does it need? Comments. List of comments as a string. Okay, so what we can do here is comments. We take the comments from the story and do a map where we return the comment user ID. So that's what will be used to find the picture. And okay. Actually, maybe I can even remove this. And here I need to add the. Let's see first if this works. Not too bad. Okay. I need to move out this label and add the social handle on top. Close button seems to work. So for comments, maybe I can add a label. Show label, it's a boolean. Default value is true. And okay, we only show this. So here we need to set it to false. And so the last part missing is social media handle, and I implemented it already in a component. So this is how it looks like. So I should probably separate this into a separate component so I can reuse it both sides. Let me check what it looks like on the So it's funny because in the Sketch implementation they do have a header also symbol, but they don't seem to reuse it for the story. But are there any big differences? Let's see. So the color is different, the font size, everything else seems to be the same. Okay, let's make a new component called handle. So create a new component. So takes the user as parameter. Okay, so now I can import it here. Pass user as parameter, reuse this here, so I need to import view and avatar. Okay, text as well. Okay, and the proper styles, so user and username. Okay, it looks good, can reuse it here. So I need to fetch the user. And I need to export the handle component. Okay, let's have a look. Oh, forgot this import. Okay. I think it looks good on here. Okay, looks messed up here. So I need to add some styling. Like X direction row. Not bad, but there are some issues. I think it's because of the stretch and yeah, I need to make the text color white. So for this, I will add color property or yeah. Okay, maybe it was not worth it to create a separate component because of the customization I need to do here, and probably also need to add some gradients so the handle gets visible. I'm not sure how they did it here. Let me check. So information. Okay. So you see here there's a slight gradient to make sure that this is readable. That goes from black to transparent, and I should do the same. Okay, let's see. I'm getting a bit lost here. Okay, let's add handle color property string it's black by default. Let me remove this one. Somehow the handle is like, I don't know, something is wrong, but so one step at a time. I think the first thing I'm gonna do here is add some linear gradients, which I need to import here from Expo. It needs to wrap the safe area view. So colors black to transparent. Okay, so color, text color didn't work. And color. Okay. Not bad, but not great either. There are a couple of issues here. Why is? Let me check if it's. Maybe I can inspect instead. What's going on? Okay, it's because of this button. Good to know. Very tricky. I was like, what the hell is going on? So maybe I need to add this back here. And so the inspector button is very useful. So I need here to remove margin, the margin. Go back. Still not working. Oh. So I think here what happened is that I needed to overwrite exactly the margin bottom property. So it's a bit better, but not great. Let me see if it's because of this. No. So should I maybe add justify content center? I didn't need to do it for the post, for the header component, because I think the avatar was what was taking the most size in the header. I think it starts to not look so bad, but still. Let's see. Okay. I think I just need to center everything. So here it doesn't look great, but I will. So we have a small regression. Actually, here it doesn't look great either. What to do? And what I need to do is to increase the height of the gradient. So because here it ends in transparent, should end transparent much later in. So let me see. So I should definitely set this back. Justify content doesn't make sense. Yeah, so let's make the gradient bigger. So style gradient. Height 100. Maybe it was a mistake to use the same component for both. Is it better? I'm not seeing it somehow. 200. Yeah, that's better. Now it's much more readable. Just to check. Yeah, it's pretty good. Okay. So, but the alignment, it's not that bad actually, but it's not great. Is avatar, can I pass a style? No. I would like to do maybe align self center. Not sure if align self is working in React Native. So here it looks good. Yeah, perfect. That's pretty good. And maybe this could be improved a little bit. What's taking the most? Yeah, if I can remove maybe the vertical padding here. And what about here? No, yeah, it looks good. So I think I just need to remove the vertical padding of the button to make this height a bit smaller. So let me go back. Okay, and padding. Padding 0. Oops, what am I doing? Okay, I think it doesn't look better actually. So padding and then padding vertical, horizontal, sorry. Oh, is it small or tiny? I forgot what is used in button. Tiny. Okay. So this height with the name and the social handle still too big. I'm not sure why. Let's see. Why is it so big? I'm really not sure. Actually, I should put this into a style. And I am not, I mean, actually it doesn't look that bad, but I'm not 100% sure of what's going on. And now I guess I will investigate it offline. Let me save this. Okay. All right, so now let's do, I mean, first let me take some notes so I don't forget things I need to do offline. So we need to make the story screen outside the tab view. Look at making the height of the social media handler smaller. We found the bug, also fixed bug in scroll view header, which when I was trying to demo it to you, the new iOS scroll view effect. And yeah, I think that these are the ones I need to not forget. So let's try something crazy here. So you see it's so we have this ugly white border. That's really not how it should look like. So essentially we should have like a mask. I mean, yeah. So what I would like to see is that so let me copy maybe one of the shape here, put it in the new file. I would like to see if I can build this SVG in React Native and use it to implement the effect properly in this screen. So, okay, let's try. It's an experiment. So I'm copying the SVG code. So I need to go in avatar. So I have a stack property, and so let's say we'll change from a number to Boolean if this works, but just for let's first experiment if it's possible to implement easily in React Native. So if stack equals 0, we return the image, the full image, with the border radius and everything. So okay, and if not, we return the SVG. So I'm gonna paste what Sketch gave me, so this is gonna need some cleanup to be valid React. So actually I should really, because I start to use more and more SVG in React Native, and I have a background in XQuery, and I think it would be really easy. So every time you copy from Sketch to React Native, you have to do all of this cleanup so that the SVG is a valid set of React Native components. And yeah, I think in XQuery it would be very trivial to write a query that can transform a valid SVG file into valid React Native, and I should really spend the time to do this, because I'm starting to use SVG more and more in React Native. But for now, I'm gonna do it manually, unfortunately. And so I need to import SVG from Expo. Okay, so the image we can remove. Oops. So href is the URI. Okay. So I'm just gonna do some cleanup. Okay. So I'm changing to the React Native naming conventions. Also, I need to use single elements where possible, like this. Same for image. Okay, so I need to do more imports. Let's see. So I need defs, pattern, image, path from SVG. Use as well. Okay. Okay. So let's see. Okay. So something went seriously wrong, of course. So what happened? So there's something in the definitions it doesn't like, but I'm not sure what it is. So let's check maybe React Native to see if all the components I'm using are defined. I mean, actually, I can do a simple check here. Okay. So let's see. Ooh. So def pattern is undefined. Doesn't seem to be supported, no? Which is there another way we can do an image fill in? Like, can I just do image 2 maybe directly? I don't know. I will need to investigate. Let's see. Prop. Href invalid prop for the image component. Is React Native. So let's see. I'm not sure what I'm okay. Maybe it's because it doesn't like network images. Let's try with some inline image just as a test. Href split to image. What kind of properties does it need? Image require. Okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, I knew this would be a wild experiment. I need to investigate further if it's possible to do. I'm running out of battery. I think, yeah, I think that's it for now. We didn't completely finish the screen. We went pretty far though, but yeah, and I apologize if it was a bit hectic by moments. But yeah, I guess that's it for today, and talk to you soon. Bye.